We know such midsoles as ADIDAS Boost, Nike ZOOMX, ASICS FLYTEFOAM, and many others. But do you know what's the difference between them? What are their advantages? Let's break this all down. First, all midsoles are polymers. So we need to start with a short chemistry lesson first. What is a polymer exactly? Well, there are atoms. Some of them form groups of atoms. Others form molecules. Sometimes these particles start to merge into chains, and this final substance is what we call a polymer. Do you think you know any polymers? In fact, they surround us. Plastic, rubber, and even we are made of polymers. For instance, our skin is a polymer. So yeah, there is a huge number of them, and we need to decide which type of polymers suits best for midsoles production. To do that, let's determine the features that we need. First, we need the midsole to absorb the running stress and to be bouncy. That's why a polymer should be elastic. It should return its original shape after deformation. Such polymers are called elastomers. The second feature is, we need to be able to shape the midsoles for the sake of mass production. Usually, brands do that with temperatures. Polymers that melt at high temperatures are thermoplastic. The ones that burn are thermosetting. So guys, all modern brands use technologies based on thermoplastic elastomers. We really hope that this term feels clearer to you now. Moving on. Now we know which type of polymers is used for the midsoles production. But what are the actual materials and why do they have those features? Let's figure it out. For example, there is ethylene. We can make a polymer out of it, that is, polyethylene, but it is not an elastomer. If we try to stretch it, it will not return to the original shape. To make it elastic, we can perform another chemical process, known as copolymerization. We take vinyl acetate, a well-known glue, and place it in between the ethylene rows. This way, our new structure is elastic in these connections. What we get is a thermoplastic elastomer we needed. Later, it is shaped into a midsole by pressure molding. To this day, ethylene vinyl acetate, or simply EVA, is the most common midsole material. And here are some fascinating facts. We can make many or few connections. If we do many, the midsole is firm but durable. When there are few, the midsole is soft but easier to tear. This is because it is closer to the original polyethylene. Perhaps you've noticed that we didn't mention anything about vulcanization. Midsoles are not made by vulcanization. It is a simple misconception. The difference here is that we use reagents instead of other polymers to make those connections. Now, we can link the polymers by both bridges and also blocks. For blocks, polymers go one by one, which also works for making an elastomer. For instance, SALOMON and Under Armour use so-called infused material based on olefin. What's really funny here is that olefin is basically ethylene, so this is just EVA, made a little differently, which gives it some boost. Okay, we know how to make thermoplastic elastomers. We take a polymer, make bridges or blocks with another polymer, and we are done. Of course, brands go one step further. Some use different proportions, others use different polymers, or put additives to the mix. We cannot explain each question, but we will try to cover some of them. The most common materials are EVA, EVA plus something, OBC, which is in fact the same as the previous one, TPU, eTPU, and PEPA. Let's quickly go through all the modern technologies. HOKA cushioned midsole, ADIDAS LIGHTSTRIKE, ADIDAS Bounce, Nike CUSHLON, ASICS FLYTEFOAM, SALOMON infused, Under Armour HOVR, SALOMON Energy Surge, SAUCONY PWRRUN, ASICS FLYTEFOAM PROPEL, HOKA PROFLY, ASICS FLYTEFOAM Blast, New Balance Fresh Foam, Nike React, ADIDAS REPETITOR, Under Armour Flow, MIZUNO ENERZY, Brooks DNA LOFT, Brooks DNA AMP, Brooks DNA Flash, New Balance Fuel Cell, MIZUNO XPOP, PUMA NITRO, SAUCONY PWRRUN Plus, ADIDAS Boost, ADIDAS LIGHTSTRIKE Pro, MIZUNO ENERZY LITE, SAUCONY PWRRRUN PB, Nike ZOOMX, ASICS FLYTEFOAM Blast Turbo, MIZUNO ENERZY Core, and break them down into groups. Now, some data is not from official sources, so forgive us if we have made a mistake somewhere. So, what do we get from these groups? Well, EVA is still the best midsole. It is universal. It can be stable, bouncy, or light. At the same time, other variations are not the answer to everything. Before we compare the midsoles, let us cover one more question. The thing is, most of the midsoles are made from hydrocarbons, like EVA made from ethylene. But did you know that hydrocarbons belong to organic chemistry? Yes, almost all midsoles are organic. And the main thing here is the source material. Usually it is oil, the easiest and the most convenient source. Right now, oil production is somewhat unlimited, so is the midsole production. Yeah, we can use other bio-based sources, but right now they are not used for the midsoles production, only for plates. Okay, it's time to compare the performance of midsoles. Basically, they have four main features: softness, bounce, weight, and durability. Each midsole has its own specific scales. To make it easier, we break them down into three options. It should be just enough. Let's divide the midsoles by the scales. Bounce. Here, MIZUNO ENERZY Core stands out from the rest. It is by far more bouncy than any other midsole. Next, softness. Again, MIZUNO ENERZY Core is the softest of any other competitor. You can even hardly use it without the core body of the shoe. Now for durability. Usually, ETPU foams are slightly more durable than others, and you can see how the leaders for bounce and softness go into the non-durable section here. Last, weight comparison. You are probably wondering what to do with this information we gave. It is hard to analyze it quickly, and the simple line analysis cannot give many insights. We need to make it more profound. 4D and 3D won't work here. So we use a two-dimensional space for softness and bounce. You will see the weight and durability with special markers. Something like that. Now we see the full picture. Right here we have to point out something. First, companies make new foams each month, and obviously there are more brands than we have here. Second, we might have made a small error somewhere, and we cannot edit the video. That's why we have all the latest info in the backup article, link in the description. Feel free to share your comments or tell us about new foams. We will put them down. Yes, there are many foams, and each one has its own advantages. Some of them are more durable, and others are very bouncy. Any foam can be the best, but you probably want to hear ultimate conclusions, and we will try to make them for you. We will give them, but please keep in mind that this is just our opinion. Firm and bouncy foams are the best for everyday running. They are more stable and help to recover after the training faster. Foams with average softness and bounce seem to be the most comfortable. The best for everyday usage are firm and bouncy foams again. These midsoles are the best for preventing damage to our feet. Note that everyday usage here means when we are standing and walking all day long, like waiters or tour guides. Lastly are the fastest forms. These are super bouncy, soft forms. Plus, they should be lightweight, but it's okay if they are not. And here it is. Now you know how to choose your new running shoes a little better. Again, this is just our opinion. Okay guys, Did you enjoy our guide? We think that this is somewhat a basis for running shoe reviews. We start 2022 with this video as we want to go into details later on. We will look at the brands and compare different models. If you are interested, feel free to follow us and stay tuned, we have a lot on the way. That's it for today. Stay safe and enjoy running.